We've got highlights from the 2015 Juneteenth celebration.
We'll get the scoop on Irving Eats.
And we'll bring you a profile of Irving's singer-songwriter, Scott Jacob Lower.
All this and more coming up About Town.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to About Town. I'm Derek Thompson.
And I'm Kathy Whiteman, and Derek is back, and y'all know how excited I am about that. Great to see you.
Good to see you.
Now, everyone here who watches About Town knows that whenever Derek comes, he always has great news for things going on in the city. But this time, we've got a little bit of statewide news.
Absolutely. You're talking about the Texas Association of Municipal Information Officers. They have recognized City Spectrum, our resident newsletter, as one of the best publications in the state. So we're just on cloud nine in our communications department, and we're happy that we're bringing our residents the best.
Well, I am excited about that. Congratulations to you as editor, to
Thank you so much.
Department, and to all of us here for having such a great newsletter to let us know what's going on around town.
Absolutely.
So we're glad that you could join us for news on the grand opening of the Texas Musicians Museum.
We'll also talk with Jonathan Falloon from the NILO about a summer event you will not want to miss.
As always, we invite you to email us and let us know about stories you'd like to see and events you'd like to promote.
So please email us. The address is ictn@cityofirving.org.
On June 19th, 1865, Texans learned that slavery had been abolished in the United States. The date has been celebrated ever since as Juneteenth. Letitia Niembo brings us highlights from this year's commemoration of the historic event.
This year's annual Juneteenth celebration marks the 150th anniversary of freedom for Texas slaves, the 50th anniversary of March on Selma, and the 50th anniversary of the Voting Rights Act. The celebration began with a march from Shady Oak Cemetery and continued with food and festivities at the Jackie Townsend Bear Creek Heritage Center. Wendy Hampton, organizer and member of the West Irving Improvement Association, says that there are activities for the entire family.
We had drums, celebrating. We did line dancing to get people pumped up and ready this morning. We've done a scavenger hunt at the museum. We've also did a tribute to Frederick Douglass, and now we're just celebrating with the music, and we have In-N-Out Burger here. Everybody's having a great time.
Juneteenth, also known as Juneteenth Independence Day or Freedom Day.
Bear Creek native Councilman Dennis Webb was in attendance and provided a passionate keynote speech about remembering why he celebrates Juneteenth.
I'm reminded of the great sacrifices that people of the African American, culture that they had and that they made, and the fact that they were set free. And that's really why I celebrate their freedom.
In commemoration of the Voting Rights Act of 1965, Towne Grimes, president of the local NAACP chapter, provides information about how to make your vote count.
As we know, we have a voter ID law that's in effect. So we want to make sure if your address has changed or if you have some information on if your driver's license has to match your voter ID card.
Like our forefathers who paved the way for the Voting Rights Act, the event allows future generations to remember their sacrifices and to celebrate their achievements.
I like it because it's talking about the spirit, and you can see it's incredible. They're singing a lot of stuff, so I like it.
Letitia Niembo, About Town.
Up next for the Irving Events team, Independence Day festivities throughout the city. For details, visit irvingevents.org.
Irving native Jeff Riley started a dining club called Irving Eats as a way to discover and support locally owned restaurants and meet some new friends along the way. The club isn't even a year old and it already boasts more than 1,000 members. Here's Kathy with more on Irving Eats.
Eat, drink, and support Irving.
I think that's marvelous. Marvelous. I mean, who can't bring a can of food,
That's the motto of Irving Eats, a dining club formed by longtime Irvingite Jeff Riley.
We're a group of people that support locally owned and operated restaurants in Irving. We also support Irving Cares, the city's food bank, and the Irving chapter of the American Cancer Society.
The group isn't a year old yet and already has more than 1,000 members, but it started out small, really small.
The original group was called Party of One. And Party of One was for people who went out to eat by themselves.
Well, I've known Jeff Riley since we were in high school, so we go way, way back.
It was a way to help locate each other, to say, let's have a community table.
And he had posted something on Facebook about this group that was going to get together and kind of promote local restaurants. And and people just coming together to support local businesses.
And that community table sort of stretched into couples and married people that also had to eat out by themselves. And all of a sudden we became Irving Eats.
The group welcomes new members. All you have to do is find Irving Eats on Facebook and ask to join. But you have to agree to abide by the rules.
I run a tight ship, actually. And we do have rules, and the rules are pretty simple. Number one, no politics. That's established. Number two, we want you to go out to restaurants, and we want you to bring back your pictures and your likes and dislikes, but we want it respectfully, with decorum.
If a member has a complaint, Jeff asks them to send a private message so that he can address concerns with the restaurant in a proactive way. So the group creates a great partnership with local restaurants.
Support, 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 or win-win-win.
We are so glad that they've been supporting us.
Carlos Benitez is the founder of Tio Carlos.
Because at the beginning, all you need is some people to come and try it, but also spread the word.
Irving Eats members have definitely helped to get the word out about Tio Carlos, located at the corner of O'Connor and Rochelle.
Well, Tio Carlos is a fusion, which is a little bit more fresh to the community. It gives them the idea of Mexico's and Latin America mixed with the flavor of Tex-Mex.
There are plenty of delicious dishes, and everyone has their favorite.
Nachos, it was really good.
One of my top sellers right now and my favorites are the shrimp tacos. They've been very popular, very good. Our brisket tacos, brisket enchilada, everything with brisket has been a sensation. We cook our brisket over 8 hours, roast brisket, and the flavor is so tender that it's becoming one of the favorites.
In addition to discovering new restaurants and new friends, the group also lends a hand to Irving charities.
We bring food for Irving Cares. That's for the families in Irving that are having hard times, and there are a lot of them.
Good food, good social. What more could you ask for?
This is Kathy Whiteman reporting.
To learn more about great places to eat in Irving and help support local charities, visit irvingeats.com.
The long-awaited and much-anticipated Texas Musicians Museum is celebrating their grand opening soon, and Thomas Creason joins me with all the details. Thomas, thanks so much for being here today.
Well, thank you for having me here.
So we know that the excitement's been building for this museum for a while now, and the big date's coming up. When is it?
It is July 25th, all day.
All right, and an all-day celebration.
Yes.
I think that's fitting, don't you?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so let's talk about what's going to happen on July 25th. You've got a full day planned.
Yes, we've got 10 acts that are going to perform that day. We've divided up into 2 sessions so we can accommodate people and not make it too crowded, so it'll be a comfortable experience for everyone. We should have our restaurant available, which is the Neon Armadillo.
Neon Armadillo.
Yes,
we like that.
Cafe, yes. And of course, everybody will be able to, with their ticket, tour the museum and walk through the museum. Unfortunately, we won't have any guided tours that day, but because of the amount of people. But we'll have a lot of great pieces available for display, and certainly a lot of door prizes, giveaways, all sorts of special things going on with an opening day.
That's great. That's one of the things that you mentioned is kind of a unique feature for the Texas Musicians Museum, and that's being able to, at any time when you've got a live event, live music going on, you can also tour the museum.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's one of our plugs with our tickets, is that you buy a ticket to a show. Prior to the show, you can actually come there early and walk through the museum. That is included with your admission to the show that night. So you kind of get a double ticket out of the deal.
Okay, so 2 for 1.
Yeah.
That's never a bad idea.
Never.
So give us a couple of highlights from the day. I know people will have different kinds of music that they like. You've got the whole spectrum. You've got artists from all over the state.
Yes. Well, one of the things we're really looking forward to is we've got Holly Tucker, who was on The Voice, and she's an incredibly talented singer. And Joseph Vincelli, jazz artist, and then, of course, Miss Devon and the Outlaw, who's just great Western music. But we're really excited about a band called Cow Jazz. It's going to do a Western swing show, and it's going to include Louise Rowe, who was one of the first female members of Bob Wills and the Texas Playboys. She's in her 80s, and she can play a stand-up bass and just tear it up like some 16-year-old kid would, you know?
That is great. That's
Yeah.
great. So, yeah, a little bit of history as well. And that's a great way to celebrate Texas musicians, too.
Yeah.
All right, so give us the details once again as we close. It's going to be on July 25th and
July 25th starts at 10 o'clock. First session goes till 3 o'clock, and then the second session starts at 4 and goes till about 10:30 or 11 till we close. You can buy a ticket for either one, or you can do the all-day pass, which is a pretty good deal too. And we'll have all the great food, prizes, all sorts of great stuff. It's going to be an exciting event.
fantastic. Where do we get our tickets?
You can get your tickets at musiciansmuseum.com, or if you don't want to spell that out, just do tmmtexas.com. A lot easier.
Okay.
It's online at our store. You can purchase them there. We're also going to set up some outlets at a couple stores, Josie Records, and a few other places around town, including Joe's Diner down the street, the coffee house. So
There you go.
Yeah.
What a way to get local.
Yeah.
All righty, Thomas, thank you so much for being here today, folks. Let's look forward to the grand opening and stay all day and eat at the Neon Armadillo.
Absolutely.
We like that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Back to you, Derek.
This week, Susan Kamya reviews the sequel to the outrageous hit comedy Ted. She says fans of the original flick will find more of the same.
Happily ever after only exists in fairy tales. Yet a talking teddy bear is about to marry his girlfriend,
I now pronounce you teddy bear and wife. May kiss the bear.
proving that Americans don't give a crap about anything.
So I got some big news. Tammy Lynn and I are gonna have a baby.
That's awesome! The crude childhood bear that miraculously came to life is back, and this time around, he's ready to start a family of his own. The film opens with Ted, once again voiced by Seth MacFarlane, walking down the aisle with his girlfriend from the previous film, Tammy Lynn, played by Jessica Barr.
Tammy, listen. I love you.
A year goes by, and marriage bliss quickly faded for the newlyweds. They're constantly at each other's throats. Luckily, they're advised to have a baby, because apparently having a child is a sure way to fix any marriage. Once the couple decides on adoption, it is discovered that the state doesn't recognize Ted as a person. He is eventually revoked of his basic civil rights and his personhood when the courts declare him to be property. Ted's marriage is annulled, and he loses his job. Naturally, they take this to court and are defended by a young, inexperienced lawyer played by Amanda Seyfried. Her character Samantha plays double duty as she is also Mark Wahlberg's new love interest. You might be wondering what happened to his wife from the first film. Well, Mila Kunis's lovable character Lori has apparently been divorced from John for 6 months now. It's just too bad John and Samantha's romance is completely irrelevant to the storyline. Whether or not you liked Mila Kunis's character, there was a lot more depth to their relationship. John and his new love are just another uninteresting subplot. For the most part, Ted 2 does its best to stay original and refrains from a copycat sequel. The only time this fails is when we see the return of Giovanni Ribisi's psychotic character, Donnie. He is teamed up with a Hasbro executive and plans to kidnap Ted again, and hopefully make millions of live teddy bears for little kids all over the world. Since the kidnapping storyline was such a big part of the first film, this subplot just felt a tad forced and desperate. Honestly, I would have been interested to see a new villain with new motives. Ted 2 provides plenty of laugh-out-loud moments, and the film is extremely entertaining. But this movie doesn't quite stick like the first one. Even with the parallels of America's history of prejudice, which is effective at times, it still can't scratch the surface of its dirty college humor. Nonetheless, for fans of the first film, Ted 2 is still worth the watch. For About Town, this is Susan Kamyab reporting.
Ready?
Yep, bring it on.
Do you consider yourself to be human?
Objection. Sustained.
No, the witness can object.
Overruled. Sidebar.
Guilty.
Speculation.
Hearsay.
Bailiff.
Briefcase.
Disregard.
In my chamber.
Stop Beaver on the witness.
Arrest.
We could totally be lawyers.
Bang.
Ted 2 is now playing at Regal MacArthur Marketplace and AMC Irving Mall. To see more of Susan's interviews and film reviews, visit thischicksflix.com.
If you're looking for an exotic getaway for some summer R&R, travel to Nilo Las Colinas for Hot Hawaiian Nights. They've got some really exciting things planned, and Jonathan Falloon joins you with the details. Jonathan, thanks so much for coming today.
Thank you.
Now, you've been an employee, Associate Director of Sales at Nilo for a while here.
That's correct.
What impresses you most about the Nilo brand?
You know, what I love about the Nilo brand is that it offers something unique, which, as we talked about a moment ago, kind of the motto of Nilo Las Colinas, our NILO as a whole is to stay unique. And so what we aim to do is bring an experience to travelers as well as to our local guests that they won't get anywhere else. And so, you know, the NILO brand, of course, one of the things that we aim to present is that New York loft experience. And so when you come to the NILO, you have the opportunity to experience what you might otherwise only find in a Manhattan-style loft. So you get that authentic experience right here in Irving.
Well, it's a beautiful facility. We had an opportunity to do some things there and talk with your sushi chef and just sort of get an experience of it. And now you've got an opportunity like that again for the entire community.
That's right.
To come at Hot Hawaiian Nights. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so Hot Hawaiian Nights is our big summer debut, if you will. And so what we're going to be doing is on July 10th, on Friday, July 10th, from 6:30 to about 9:30 or so, we're going to host a local event. So it's welcome. Everybody from the Irving area is welcome, of course, as well as all of our business travelers, our clients that'll be here as well. So it'll take place courtyard in the poolside area. We'll have music beginning at 6:30 p.m. We'll also have hula dancers beginning at 8:30 p.m. along with an awesome show put on by a fire thrower / dancer, if you will, at about 9:15. So as the sun begins to go down, some of the action will continue with that. So like I said, that'll take place in the courtyard area poolside. We'll be serving drinks, $8 Mai Tais, as well as our Blue Hawaiians, along with a fabulous menu. There's no cover, so everybody's welcome. So come enjoy. There'll be great food available, so we'll hope you'll partake in that as well. But we'll be looking forward to having a nice evening.
That is great. So you're bringing a really authentic Hawaiian experience right here. So you don't have to fly to Hawaii,
That's
folks.
Right.
You come right here to the NILO Las Colinas.
Exactly.
So in addition to this event, which I know you guys are really excited about,
yes.
you try to have a little something every Friday. Is there something called the Splash?
We do, yeah. So our NILO Summer Splash, and actually this will be presented by a couple sponsors, and we'll do it each Friday. And the really neat thing about that, again, it's a very casual, very come as you are event. It's for our local guests as well as for our guests that may be spending the weekend with us or kind of staying over for a little leisure time. And we'll have a live DJ. We'll have the grill going, so we'll have foot-long hot dogs as well as sausage, potato chips, all available at $6 per person, as well as the full bar too. So.
Okay, folks, it's summertime. Get over to the NILO Las Colinas for Hot Hawaiian Nights or for Summer Splash. And Jonathan, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.
And we look forward to seeing you. Aloha.
Aloha. We look forward to seeing you as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Back to you, Derek.
We met Irving singer-songwriter Scott Jacob Lohr on the last show and promised we'd bring you highlights from his concert. Susan Kamyab was there to bring us the story.
Come to me, Spirit of God, fill my eyes with your heavenly light.
The greatest joy is going to be sharing God's word through music.
Fill my ears with the sound of your word.
The multi-talented musician Scott Lohr put on a special performance at Oakview Baptist Church this past Sunday.
Tonight is a concert that begins with a few songs that you have heard before because I did not write them, some traditional hymns, and then it's followed by some songs that you haven't heard because I did write them. I'll be playing and singing solo for some of the songs, and then I'm going to bring up the band and choir to join me for the last three numbers.
But before he was singing to a full house, Scott was rocking out to original songs during his MacArthur High School days.
Oh, I was in a rock and roll band called Firestorm. Yeah, Firestorm. I shouldn't say it so Texan. And we played a lot of the rock and roll songs of the day, a lot of Leonard Skinner and Ted Nugent and things, and the bass player and I started writing songs. And before we knew it, we had about 10 or 12 songs that we'd written, and we used to joke about, hey, this is a song from our album, side 2, cut number 3, and we realized we have enough for an album. So we made one.
Scott continues to make albums as his newest one is already up for sale.
I have a new CD. It's hot off the presses. I just finished it yesterday. That's why I don't sleep much. And it's called What Shall I Give? And it's got 16 original songs on it.
Music isn't just a passion for Scott, it's a way of life.
Music to me was my native language that I learned before English. I don't remember learning how to play piano and organ. I've been playing apparently since I was a matter of months old, figuring out how to bang on the stuff and get the notes to come out the way I was hearing it. So it's just been a lifelong thing.
And as the night went on, Scott's love for music reflected on the audience's enjoyment of his performance. For About Town, this is Susan Comyab reporting.
You can purchase Scott's CD at folklore.com. Scott also composes music for corporate clients and special occasions. Find him on Facebook to learn more.
The picture book art of Marla Frizzy is currently on display in Carpenter Lobby at the Irving Arts Center. This exhibit is organized by the National Center for Children's Illustrated Literature in Abilene, Texas, and will continue at the Art Center through September 27th. Here's a look and a list of whimsical ways to entertain yourself about town. And here's some other exciting events happening about town. The Independence Day Parade kicks off at 9 a.m. on July 4th, and that's just the start of a day full of activities. After the parade, celebrate America's birthday with cupcakes and watermelon, kids' activities, and music by the Kenny Chavez Combo at Heritage Park.
Then you'll want to head over to the Las Colinas Urban Center at 6 p.m. to continue the celebration with food, the fun zone for kids, and a patriotic fireworks display at dusk to wrap up the activities. Sounds like a great way to celebrate. And that's all for this edition of About Town. Thank you for joining us.
Please be sure to tune in next time for 4th of July highlights and a look at hot Hawaiian Nights at the Nilo Las Colinas.
All right, and we'll also bring you a profile of young adult author Neil Schusterman and his latest novel, Challenger Deep.
We'll leave you tonight with a look at Texas Flood in performance as part of the Tribute to Greatness concert series. For About Town, I'm Kathy Whiteman.
And I'm Derek Thompson. Have a great evening, About Town.